I keep thinking the time on. Back to Bardstown. Now guys, I've had the pleasure of actually visiting Bardstown. They have an amazing lunch menu, brunch menu. It is a good time. Their whiskey menu is a little expensive. I got too much of it to be like, I remember being there, I said, Tim, which one should I get? If I had to spend $200-300, he looked, he said, none of them. I said, heard. That being said, you guys brought in Bardstown. It's familiar to us because of the mash bill, and I think you said they do or don't source from NGP.
No, they're their own distiller.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. But they've been at it for what?
A long time, and they when they first started, they were definitely sourcing. But when their product got it 5 to 6 years old, they started releasing it.
There you have it. Now, when you line up Bardstown, where do you start? Because that's always my confusion when I first started.
Yeah.
When I see 5 Jack Daniels bottles, I don't know which one to drink. 5 of these, 6 of these. Where do we start?
To me, I think you start with their original distillate and at a lower proof, and then you work into their Discovery series, which is kind of their high-end LE stuff. And then you can go into the variants that are finished and rise and stuff like that.
Now, why lower proof? Because we always know that for those that don't, you said lower proof, this is 121.
Those are lower proof.
I'm like,
but they're entry level. What I would consider entry level, the Discovery, which this or the Origin series, which this is a part of. They have their standard bourbon.
Yeah, these are single barrels, so they're
bottled in bond. They have a high wheat bourbon. They're lower. I want to say just over 100, maybe.
Yeah, I think 96 to 106. Basically.
Now,
so
why
they're
is
a little
proof
more.
not an issue? That's not an issue for you guys, and definitely not me. But I walked in like with a naked eye. I had no clue what I didn't know. So you get what I love when I learned to cook. I told the dude Steve Mock, I said, Mock, I can't cook. I can't cook a hot dog. He said, that's perfect. He said, because that means I could teach you how to do things the way I want them to be done.
Correct. You don't have any preconceived.
Kind of like you guys. You say, hey, Trev, proof. I'm like, what does that mean? 121, is that high? Is that low? I literally had no perspective. So when somebody's like, oh, that's 121, I said, that's the day at the blender, bro. I said, but did you try this fruit punch? That's 121. I said, well, try it first.
Yeah.
You know, did you try this wild game buffalo? You know, like, it's 109. Did you try it?
Yeah. So they have different experiences. Like if you go inside and do a tasting, they'll give you the standard stuff that's probably 96 to 105. But you can also try the same stuff out the barrel house, which is like the blendery.
Yeah.
Thieving it straight from the barrel. Obviously, that's going to be barrel proof. Which, if you're not used to it, proof.
I guess then the question becomes for you guys: how do you get used to whiskey?
Repetition.
It's no different than drinking
Be all
coffee.
that you can be,
Right?
and drink all that you can drink.
You might not like coffee at the beginning. You get used to it. You might not like beer at the beginning. You get used to it. Same with this.
I got some hunting buddies that drink 80 proof whiskey, and I bring them a bottle of blender, and they're like, "Oh, this is so hot." It's like one of the lower proofers. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But like, I can't even like. You get to a point where I don't know about you guys, but I get to a point where I can't smell ethanol anymore.
Correct.
Oh yeah, no. Now there's times where it's burned my nose, but I'm literally doing videos with it straight out the barrel.
Yeah.
So I mean that don't count. But if it's coming out that bottle, no impact whatsoever.
Quality helps. I mean, that to me, that's where you get more of the true flavors. Because we know with blending and proofing stuff is it changes the profile by adding water. So
I think age and quality fool you on proof, right? Because
so walk them through define quality in whiskey. Because I don't know that we knew that before the blender. I know I didn't know it.
So high quality whiskey is whiskey that has been well taken care of, hand selected for a reason, and then, in my opinion, non-chill filtered and has some age on it, right? All those things kind of mean quality to me. I'm not going to trust a distillery that's 2 years old and has, a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old rye and a 5-year-old bourbon. I'm just not going to trust them. But if you're talking about a legacy distillery, which is what we get our barrels from at the blendery, they've got quality in place and procedures in place that make sure that whiskey is of high quality.
Now the good thing about legacy distillery is when we looked at kind of like where MGP started and even their journey, they were one of the top 10 distilleries distilling for over 60 plus years. And we learned that historically. Amin did a good job of giving us the history of it. And then we were down in that Seagram's building or looking at Seagram's.
Right.
It was a very interesting thing to see.
But
what
the thing
legacy really means.
Yeah, the thing that quality and age does is it mellows harsh notes, right? Because a quality purveyor or a quality distillery is not going to put out something that's astringent or something that's off profile or something that's crazy. you know, on your palate. So the fact that they have already kind of made that first checks and balances and said, okay, well, this one goes to blend, this one's single barrel worthy, that helps, right? So when I guess, and it was funny because Richard and I were trying to guess proofs the other day. But when I guess proofs at the blendery, I get my number and I add 5 to it because I know it's fooling me because it's such quality whiskey or it has age on it that makes me think it's lower.
Okay, so Chance, what he's saying, he loves to be fooled only by the blendery. Now, guys, if you're on your discovery of whiskey, the Discovery series is got perspective, it's got range, it's got dynamic, you know, palatability. You're like, oh, I don't like that, but I love this. And I think if you never got a chance to get to the blender and you was bumped into a Discovery bottle, it would help you define what you like and don't like. Yeah. There's very few brands I personally had, if I'm not drinking the LE, limited edition stuff, where I was like, I like that.
I think this was the first whiskey I bought to your house that you said reminded you of the blendery.
And again, let me be very clear, the blendery is an experience because of the intention that goes into every bottle. So it's no way for us to almost, unless you've had it or until you've had it, my bad, you just don't get it.
Right.
I don't know how to make it make sense. I've now had everything. And that's not an exaggeration. And when we drink the blendery, you go, there's nothing like it. Literally nothing. But it's because he's not trying to be like them. In any way, shape, and form. So we do the best stuff when the best stuff is ready. And that's like, almost like, imagine striking lightning every time you basically try to put something in a bottle. Or attempting to, right? I gotta catch lightning. That's what the blender is. He's trying to catch lightning every time he cracks a bottle or a barrel and then puts it in there. So anything else you want them to know about the Discovery series?
I think they're all good. Some are better than others. The old ones that were green label, I think that was 1 through 4, or maroon label.
Maroon.
Yeah. All right. First 2 were green, then maroon, I think is how it worked. Those ones are really good, but they demand a premium. My opinion is 11 and 12 are probably the best 2 they've done that are modern. They're high turkey aged distillate. And then we're going to get into 13 here in a second, which is their first double oaked.
Yeah, this actually has some of their distillate in it. So it's only 6% of theirs, 6 years old.
Right.
And the other 2 that make up the majority of it is 10 year, 13 year.
Yeah, I think they're really good blenders.
They're really good blenders. Some of those earlier ones were, I believe, 100% sourced.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, there's art on the back of all these bottles as you drink them. Yeah, they start to show through the bottle, so it's kind of a cool thing too.
Well, guys, as always, man, Bardstown again. These guys, oh, they got different labels. This is interesting. Such a good brand relative to my experience with whiskey. What I would, if you told me to start with Bardstown today, I don't think I'd be disappointed. I've been there personally, saw it. It's a gorgeous facility. We did a whiskey tour there. It was a blast when we were at KBF 2 years ago, Tim and I. I think that's how we closed out our. Was you there with us?
No.
That's how him and I closed out. So I literally still have the photos that pop up from a year ago, just him and I at a Bardstown tasting, eating brunch. And it was a good time, man. I've spent a lot of time learning about whiskey because of all these guys. And the business side, this is one of the brands I would stand behind and say, get you some Bardstown if you see it, man. Outside of that, man, keep it whiskey until next time.
Thanks, guys.